The June 2024 meeting of the Belleville Area District Library Board shall come to order. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we do have our secretary with us tonight to take the roll. So I'm sure that it will go flawlessly this evening.
Okay, Jeriga,
Present.
Peters,
Yeah, here.
Priest,
Here.
Stoudemire,
Here.
Hughes Grubbs here, Jehevitz,
Expected, she's expected.
and Fleming,
Is
excused.
excused. So with that expected addition of Joy, we will move on to item 3, which is the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Jeriga and supported by Priest that the agenda be approved. And it's on the floor. If there's any questions or comments, this is the time. Otherwise, we can go ahead and vote. We have a quorum. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. There are no negative votes and the agenda is approved. And next is our minutes. Approval of, it's item 4, approval of our minutes. Oh, that's just me telling myself I'm here. Still here.
A motion that we read the meeting minutes as presented.
Been moved by Stoudemire and supported by Priest that the minutes from May 14th be approved. Any comments before we vote? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. The ayes have it. There are no dissenting votes. Now it's time for public comment. And we have more members of the public. Would anyone like to say something?
Well, my name is Danielle Glover, and I come to the library practically every day. And I haven't been to a library board meeting in some years, so I wanted to come and share this event with you today. I'm normally in the bed by now. I get 9 hours of sleep, so but I'm happy I'm here.
We're happy you came, and we're happy you are here. And I can testify that Danielle racks up many an hour here in the library. She is a regular in this library. Any other public comment? We will be hearing from Michelle a little later. It's good to see you.
I'd like to say that I
Yes.
took a picture of Danielle. She was the very first one to use the library on a Sunday.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Put it in the paper.
I remember that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was famous that week.
You stick with this library, you'll stay. Then hearing no others, we're glad though that we have all of you here. We will move on to item 6. This is the end of our fiscal year. June is the end of our fiscal year. The new fiscal year starts in July. So this is our budget meeting and we are open and have posted our budget. And this is the time for the public to speak up about the budget that the board is considering and to have open discussion or bring your points up. So is there any such? Oh, first I have to adjourn.
I think you just open the public hearing and close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The least mess we have to do. Okay, for the purposes of this public hearing, we'll just call ourselves in order. This body is in order for purposes of a public hearing on the budget. And now if there's anyone who wishes to speak up from the public, do so now. I do not see any. So it's appropriate now that I close the public meeting, or there you go. That's what I'll do.
So that means we can't talk.
No, you can still talk, but if you have something specifically about the
Oh.
budget that you want to talk about before we deliberate on the budget, now is the time.
Okay, I don't.
But we let people talk in here as long as they act right. The public meeting is adjourned and we're back into a regular session for the library board to consider our budget and handle any questions. And I will defer to our treasurer and our director who have worked together on this. And Joy did too, did Joy have?
So did too.
Yeah, she'd probably be here before you finish.
All right, included in your packet is the budget information for, that includes the actuals from the prior fiscal year. Also the approved budget for 23-24. We're also going to be making an amendment to the 23-24 budget. And then that last column shows the 24-25 proposed budget. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through this high level, some of the changes. I think we've already talked about the prior year actual, so that's information you've seen before. And then you're already familiar with the 23-24 budget. But that next column is where you'll see changes that we want to make to the current year's budget. So the first change that I want to point out to you is under the local library fines and fees. So you'll see here that our actual for fiscal year 23 is the 115,000. What was approved for the current year is 58,700. But what we're proposing is an amendment to increase that to 62,200. And it's mainly due to an increase in the copy and fax fees, as well as the lost book fees. So we're requesting an amendment there. And that's the only amendment as it relates to our revenues. So going down further, you'll see our expenditures. So here, and double checking because I did not see. Let me change it. There's a change on the second page. Halfway down, you see repairs and maintenance. So you'll see, the first column shows the actual from last year for 70,165. 85,000 is what was approved in this year's budget, and the proposed amendment takes that to 90,000. And I think that's just reflecting what we anticipate in the current fiscal year.
And we haven't really had a long time to get this set, right? So it might fluctuate a little bit now that we're. Or we do.
We had some replacements we needed to make. Every 5 years, we have to replace things on the fire suppression system, so that raised the amount.
And we've been here 5 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yes.
amazing? Well,
Almost.
for them to do that assessment, we're close enough to 5 years that they came and did it.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah,
So there are things like that that are cropping up more than they were before.
so we have to, as we've always said, it'll take us a while to get the budget numbers because we have to have a long enough period of time to average it out to take into consideration these various factors in this new building.
That's an expense that, you reasonably can anticipate is gonna increase as years go by, so.
Yeah.
And so I think that is, it. Mary Jo, was this anything for the amendments to the budget? So, let's go back to the first page now. So that last column is the 24-25 proposed budget. So this is what is being proposed for the new fiscal year, which starts on July 1st. So you'll see, the very first line is the millage. And I'll kind of walk you through the actuals. We're about 2.4 million. What was approved for this year is the 2,460,000. Same amount for the amended, but what we're proposing for next fiscal year is an increase in the millage. So that new total is 2.6 million. And I think that just reflects the increase in property taxes. The next item I want to bring to your attention is two down from millage, which is the interest income. So you'll see our actual for 23 is the 1,568,000. Then we have 1,500 was approved. And for the current year, our proposed amendment brings that number down to, did I miss that earlier? Brings that number down to 300. And what we're proposing now for the new year is 20,000. And as you recall, we came to the board indicating that we wanted to start putting our money in CD so we could earn additional interest. So that's what's reflected there.
Yeah. That would otherwise just not be there.
So let's go down to contributions and donations. The actual for last year is the 2831. 2,500 was originally approved. We've amended that number to 4,000. But then we're reflecting, we brought it back down to the 2,500 for fiscal year 24-25. So it's possible that that could continue to grow. We may be coming back next year to amend that, but right now we're going to go back to our originally approved number for fiscal year. Everything for revenues. So just to look at the grand total for the revenues, the actual for fiscal year 23 is the 2,549,662. What was approved for this year is the 2,572,000. The amended amount is the 2,575,800, and then you'll see the increase that we're proposing for the new fiscal year, which is the 2,734,000. So now let's go down to the expenditures. So the first one is the salaries. You'll see that last year we were just under $1 million at $999,553. What was approved for this year is the 1,160,000. There's no change there. But what we're proposing for 24-25 takes into account, it's 1,218,000. That takes into account the increase that we provided to our staff. And I don't know if we did some hiring.
Some hiring too.
Okay. So that's reflected in that increase. And of course, if we're increasing our salaries, you're also going to see an increase in the benefits and the FICA. So that's what you see right below that, where you see the 414,177. That's just the corresponding total for the increase in healthcare. If you look at the supplies, which is right under books and materials, you'll see that the actual for fiscal year 23 is the 36,626. 50,000 was approved for the current fiscal year, but what we're proposing for next fiscal year is a slight increase. So we're proposing $55,000 there. Next, you have the professional fees, and the actual this year is the 27,627. What was approved for this year is the 49,100. And you see an increase here to $50,000, which reflects the increase for the auditing fees. Next are the bank fees. What's in the current budget is $1,000. What The amendment is 1,100, but what's being proposed for the fees for 24-25 is $4,000. Contractual services, there is a slight increase here, so at the very bottom of the book page. So for the actual for fiscal year 23 is the 92,630. What was approved for the current fiscal year is 125. What is being proposed is $130,000, which represents a $5,000 increase for our contracted services. On the next page. No change for telephone and communications. No change for insurance. No change for utilities. No change for repairs and maintenance or printing or postage. Computer hardware, there's no change here, but I just kind of wanted to bring to your attention that last year's actuals were only 42,000, but we're continuing to invest in our hardware and software. We almost doubled that amount.
Oh, okay.
And we just ordered a lot of computers to do some replacements, so, you know, we anticipate those costs, you know, over this fiscal year, next fiscal year, being, you know, a little bit higher than the 22-23 numbers.
We're not gonna use our computers for 20 years straight.
Please.
Hmm.
The next category is capital outlay, which includes equipment and furniture. There's no change to the budget, but this is another one where you see, you know, in 22-23 it was just over $1,000, but $25,000 is $25,000 is what we're anticipating for the next fiscal year. It's consistent with what we've done this fiscal year as well. Miscellaneous expenses, we're not making any changes to the budget there. And for our grand total, you'll see that our actuals for last fiscal year are just over 1.9 million. Our budget originally was the 2,457,000. Now we're at the 2,462,000 for the amended budget. And then what we're proposing for fiscal year 24-25 is the 2,567,177. Below that, you will see what our beginning fund balance was. With our new proposed budget, that amount's going to be the 5,598,921. The change in our fund balance is just over 166,000. And then you see our year-end fund balance is 5.7 million. Then we have funds that are committed to the following fiscal year, which is 1.3 million. Then we have restricted funds for our building contributions, which is 459,000. But what we're doing differently this year is we're actually assigning some of our remaining funds to be used for future capital improvements. So those dollars will be restricted for that purpose. So we've put $2 million that we've set aside for that. And so in the end, our remaining balance would be just over $2 million. And then the next page just reflects our debt payment. So there is a significant change here. These are all our required principal and interest payments associated with those. Question?
No, I don't. But I do see people studying and that's appropriate, so you can study them longer. Thank you, Tanya, that again kept me up with. So, yeah. I appreciate the work that Tanya, Joy, and Mary Jo have put in. Other questions?
Madam Chair, motion that we approve the 24-25 budget.
Second.
It has been moved by Stoudemire and supported by Dorita that we approve the proposed 2024-25 fiscal year budget for the Belleville Area District Library. It is properly moved and supported. And if there are any questions or comments, now is the time. Otherwise, all those in favor, we can do this in a group. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. The motion passes with no dissenting votes. And we now have ourselves a budget for the coming fiscal year, and it's a budget that I think we can live with. Now the GASB.
Oh, no, I got one more, I got two more.
Oh,
So we also need to approve the amendments that we've made to the 23-24 budget as well.
Make a motion to approve the amendments.
I'll second that.
been moved by Chehevitz and supported by Priest that the amendment to the current budget be approved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. The motion carries with no dissenting vote.
Madam Chair, I need to motion that we commit $1,230,000 to the 2023 collective library millage. That is a fund balance to use for the 24-25 fiscal year general operations for GASB 54.
I'll second that.
It was moved by Stoudemire and supported by Juriga that our appropriate amount be put aside to be in compliance with our GASB requirements, which is right here in your packet and in the proposal proposed for today. Are there questions, comments? Then we've got it moved and supported, okay? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. We have no dissenting votes and we have handled all our fiscal business, which is very important. That's our main deal in June. We are now at the committee reports. And I didn't ask for this change earlier, but in committee reports, could we move item G up to item A? Michelle Montour is here. She is welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but if she can, if it's all right with everybody else, let you go first.
Okay. Thank you,
For
thank
this,
you.
we're calling item 7G, which is the art committee.
Thank you, Sharon. It was very nice of you.
Well, thank
Two
you.
board members have been exceptionally nice to me today.
Huh?
Linda gave me her book.
Ah,
And Karen moved me up in the agenda.
there you go.
What could I say?
Um,
No?
We love you, Michelle.
Yeah,
Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed, but the gallery is empty right now. The students wanted the seniors wanted their work for their parties and the teachers wanted to be in vacation. So I was like, okay, fine. So, for the next few weeks, there won't be any art. I was thinking about switching that up a little bit, but I think trying to change it and getting one artist in there for a month is,
yeah,
I don't know if it's really necessary.
right.
Anyway, so unfortunately, there's no art on the wall right now. But I did send out a note to Kim Ench and Steve Paulson, asked them if they would like to install earlier. And I haven't heard back, 'cause I just sent it a couple days ago. And I'm hoping that at least Kim will reply because Steve travels a lot. And if she's willing, I'll put hers up on one side. And then I can always rearrange when Steve brings his work in.
That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
so that's what's going on for the next exhibit, and then after that will be the BACA winners, and then, I think takes us to the end of the year. And then before the end of the year, I will be contacting everyone for 2025 to be sure that they are committed for our calendar year, and I'm starting on 2026. I have 2 people for 2026, but they're both photographers.
Ah.
So, I'm hoping that Danielle Whitehead is still interested. And Liz Dobbs, she's local, and then the schools, to make sure they'll still wanna go from April through June, which the same thing will probably happen next year. You know, when school's out, the art will come down and
Yeah.
we'll have empty walls for a couple weeks, unless I can
Right.
figure something else out. I plan on contacting Noelle to
Good.
see if she would like to exhibit, you know? And, but I always get someone new, from the, Art Council art show. I usually find another artist that might be willing or would be interesting for us to have in our gallery. So
Mhm.
I think that's it. Any questions? I shall take them.
Sounds
No?
really good.
Yeah.
Are there questions?
Oh, I can show you a couple of things because you didn't, I don't know if you remember. Danielle, this is Danielle. That will be in January 2025. And then Eric's. Is it just her? I might have Eric's attend, no, here it is. And one of the photographers for 2026 would be this one. And then I'm inviting Gary Washington back because I think his work is really interesting. But like I said, I don't really want to have back-to-back photography shows. I think that just like to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So if somebody can't make it next year, like if for some reason, Danielle is not able to, then I'll invite one of the photographers, I'll have Eric come in. Well, I'll just do it that way.
That sounds good. And, yeah, I think that mixing it up is a good
It's-
idea.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna contact Noelle, she could be another, you know, I could sneak her in or switch it around, so. But the other thing, a couple of things that I'm working on is, I'm trying to encourage the artists to either have a reception or possibly do a little program, but they could always do something within the reception, talking about their work. I was gonna talk to Mary Jo about this. I think it would be really nice at some point, not like right this second or anything. But if it could be included as one of our small programs that the artist that's exhibiting at that time could come in and maybe do a little explanation of their work.
Yeah,
So that people in the community could get to know them. A lot of times people don't buy artwork unless they know something about the artist or they, you know, seen it or they know about it or something like that. So I know like Gary was a little disappointed that I bought a piece of his because I just love his work, but he didn't sell anything and that's not unusual, you know. But I think if we had an opportunity for people in the community to come hear the artist speak about the work.
yeah, if we had an opening exhibit, an exhibit opening with the artist, I think that would be a nice
That would
idea.
be, yes,
In fact, I think we had talked
Yes,
about
we
that
did.
way back.
yes, we did.
When we were talking about having temporary exhibits and just the whole idea.
Right.
So that sounds good.
So I'm gonna try with Kim and Steve and see if they'll be receptive to.
As for a regular art show, presentation, will there be champagne?
That's up to Mary Jo. I can't make that decision. Yeah, but it could be, that I think would be great if there was, oh, I'm sorry, I don't.
I thought.
Did you see it? Okay.
Oh, I reviewed it.
So, yeah, I think it would be, you know, it would be nice, just like when the jazz ensemble comes in.
Yeah.
You know, like a little bit of, so there has to be advance notice, of course, because we have to get the information out and put it in the paper, that type of thing, maybe, you know, and then. If I have commitment, then we can put in the newsletter, I mean, we can get the word out and then hopefully people, you know, will come. You know, even if it's only once a year or one, because we have 4 exhibits a year, so.
But especially the ones that are like a solo artist exhibiting their stuff, like the person
Well,
who's
it's
expecting
honestly,
this.
Sharon,
this
even
health
if
stuff.
multiple artists, like if I could get Steve and Kim to do this,
Uh-huh,
it just makes it, I don't know, a little more exciting,
uh-huh,
you know,
uh-huh.
and John can bring the champagne.
A little flask.
Yeah, something like that. So Mary Jo and I'll talk about it, you know, like that type of thing, and like I said, I'm hoping that Kim and Steve will get back with me and we'll get something up soon. Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Are there any other questions of, Michelle before she ducks out? Oh, these are really nice.
Right.
Very pretty.
Very nice. Yeah. He lives in Mission Point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he contacted.
So he has a lot of
contacted
good
the library.
access to water.
And I got his number and I called him and we talked. And then he sent me samples and I sent the samples to our committee and I got a consensus that yes, we all thought that it would be a good choice for the gallery.
Pretty sunsets. Thank you, Michelle.
How did you find these two artists from
They
BADL?
contacted the library and which is great when
Yeah.
you think about it.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, look, if there's a gallery, I wonder if I could show my work here, you know?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
gave me my number and I contacted them and
People are noticing, that's good, that's a sign.
that's really good.
Yeah.
How often do you get people to buy the work? That's great.
It depends on the artist, to be honest with you. Last year, we had Ed Good and he does a lot of upcycling and he sold quite a few. He sold, I want to say 9 to 12 pieces. So it really, but he's well known in the area too, so, and he was priced very reasonably. So there was all these, you know, factors, but, yeah, a lot has to do with people knowing who the artist is and maybe admiring their work. Or maybe they saw the artist at the art exhibit and then we have the show, you know, and if I invite that particular artist and the people know, they'll come and see. So it's just kind of one of those. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Once again, you're welcome to stay with us.
Well, I just got a book that I want to read.
We're in competition with ourselves. Now we'll go back to our regular, order for committee reports, and so we'll go to the building report.
Nothing to report for me.
Is that light been fixed?
Yes.
It has.
What,
I know. Well,
the flag light?
Mhm. They came in and fixed it, well, knock on wood.
Well, you're looking so contained.
I thought it was fixed before, so. But yes, the flagpole light has been replaced.
Well, oh, that's very good. So once again, the light is working. John Jariga, you want to make a bylaws committee report?
No report.
Oh, John, my. Finance, we have done our actions for finance. Oh, we did that right after the public meeting. Well, that's fine. That makes sense. So we're ahead. Because that was really the crux of our business. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about for marketing, Alma? Any ideas? Anybody talked to you about
No, we
something?
were supposed to
We're still about
get
the
something
friends.
together.
Yeah,
I think you were
I
going
was-
out of town.
I was, yeah, and then Randy had surgery, so.
And
But
then,
I'm good now.
Donna, it's just a question of when cause they did talk about it at their meeting, I don't think, but I know Mary Jo was there and they haven't, it was after the book sale and so I don't
Yeah.
think they've really. I don't
Well,
think they,
if there's any.
I can report from the last meeting, they're looking at, seeing if our library can be a host for the, Friends of Michigan Libraries.
oh,
They usually do like an annual program. to be able to have it, you know, in our library. So
Well,
they're
that's a
looking
nice
at that.
idea, and actually, it was Linda that presented a lot of stuff when we both attended their meeting. She presented a bunch of stuff about the Friends of the Michigan Libraries, which we knew nothing about. We didn't have Joy or Mary Jo there to, and so we found out, and there's a Friends of the Library Week. There's all kinds of things.
So that's gonna go forward, isn't it? We're gonna do something with that.
Hopefully.
Okay, so that's probably what we should be meeting about. It's the Friends of the Library Week.
Yeah,
Which
well,
Was
we,
that October?
It's in October, it's a busy month, but you know, maybe they can do something.
Okay.
maybe, but well, we'll see. After there, did they just meet on Saturday? And did the topic come up at all?
Not
Not too
really,
much.
yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens. And it's not quite time for personnel reporting, but is there anything you wanted to say, Linda?
Not at this time, but in the future, we will have
Yeah.
something.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Soon.
Coming months, yeah.
Yes.
And then our policy committee chair is not here this evening, and I do not believe we have policy committee issues. We have been talking at some about a personnel policy, but we aren't ready to,
Yeah.
they haven't had any. We haven't,
Hoping maybe to, and I think it might be easier to just have a week from the personnel committee. To get them, to have the personnel committee meet before the July board meeting to
Okay.
review what we've got so far.
Oh,
On the
okay.
personnel policy.
Do you want to set the meeting date? I mean, not now, but you want to be the one to do it?
Yeah, I can touch base after to see when you're generally available.
Okay.
and that's Tanya and
Me.
Linda, okay. We're working yet,
I think
Tanya.
it was, oh, Dan was not.
And the art committee has already, oh, is there anything else with policy? So we did have something to talk about. Wow, good for us. The art committee we've already heard from. So now we are ready to move to exciting territory. Important territory. The approval of accounts payable, item 8. Appropriate to spend a minute looking over before anybody moves anything, or does anything.
I swear, Long Mechanical should be on this tab. Every month I see their name. What is
That
CSD?
was the boiler tests.
Okay,
Can't believe it's 5 years.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause everything went in before I mean, a lot of this went in before we officially opened.
yeah. And then officially closed. That. Right. Most of this, and again, the biggest thing we spend is with the library network. And books and supplies are the biggest thing we spend in the budget, so.
Madam Chair, make a motion to approve accounts payable.
We have had a motion by Priest and support by Stoudemire that we approve the accounts payable as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. We are all in agreement that the accounts payable to be approved, and that has taken place. And that takes care of the action issues. Now we have some informational issues and led by our director, Mary Jo.
We already talked about the flow light. We talked a little bit about the fire system stuff already, so that was a piping inspection, hydrostatic testing, age replacement. The state boiler inspector also paid a visit, and I think every couple of years the boilers need to be respected and a report generated, so that took place. We had a power outage on June 5th. caused us to have a delayed opening and a second power outage, which caused an early closing for us that day. So first power outage had nothing to do with a storm or anything, it was just some kind of equipment malfunction somewhere. The second one, I was pretty sure it was more of a brownout than an entire power outage, but it was enough to not allow us to do
Was it
anything.
at the same time as that Livonia storm?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so,
that's what I thought.
My power went out about 6 times and came back on.
yeah, it was a crazy day.
It was,
So-
yeah, destabilized.
Right. So fortunately for us, we did, I mean, both outages, we had to manually reboot, we go up on the roof and reboot the couple of the HVAC units. So we took care of that. We do have one light that's flickering intermittently now down in the lobby area that I'm sure had something to do with those outages as well. So we're waiting for the electrician on that. It keeps getting to order a part for that. Last day of school was June 6th, and we are in the middle of summer reading program. We just started sign up for our programs yesterday. And I tell everybody in the summertime, we're just as busy as we are during the school year. It's just a different kind of busy. So we've got lots of kids coming in and checking out their books and looking forward to coming to our programs and all of our reading incentive prizes. So we're excited about that. We have, our adult summer reading going on in conjunction with the kids. And this is the first year we're doing this. We're having a book cafe, Saturday book cafe this Saturday, June 15th. So come and find out about some good books to read. I think it's gonna be a fun day.
But you have to register for it, right? Or can you just come in?
Yeah, I think you can just come.
Okay.
The youth and teen programming is more than doubled from last year.
You know, we were able to, we did a lot more, school assembly type things this year, I think. Also, we had a lot more, class visits. So I'm really happy to see that. So all of that is really
Especially
coming
just
back.
before
Yeah,
the-
yeah. So that was good. So lots of kids coming in, getting library cards. So I do have just a quick calendar in your board pack that shows all of the activities that are taking place this summer. The majority of the kids' programs are on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So this is the first time we're really kind of doing a lot of the Saturday programming, so I'm gonna be excited to see how that turns out.
That book cafe was really interesting.
So
Yeah.
So you're having a team pizza party, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that against the rules?
None of it's a library sponsor.
Spoken like a true patron of the library, a woman who has spent time in here.
So I also included in your pack, this is going to be a lecture at the museum, June 20th, Belleville then and now, and I included this because we are loaning our library assistant, Nikki Pickerel, to the museum that evening to do this program. She's very excited about it. So anytime we can help collaborate with the museum and I think for us to be able to do so.
Yeah, Nikki Pickerel has been a very good collaborator with the museum.
Yeah, she's
She's
really
done a
good.
lot over there.
Also having another second memory cafe on Wednesday, June 19th. These are for people who have memory difficulties. It's an event for them and their caregivers.
What is it again?
It's on.
Oh, John. About how many people did we get at the first time that we did
I
it?
can't remember.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Can't remember?
We all need the
Maybe I
memory
worked on this one. I also added, a handout from the library network. Basically showing your return on investment, so for every
Oh, yeah.
dollar that we give to the library network for a service, how much we get back from it. So as you can see in 2023, we gave them about 77,500. The return on our investment was 961,000. So, and that's for all of the different services, delivery, cataloging the number of items borrowed by our patrons, the ebooks,
Interesting.
so. Michigan
Yeah.
Activity Pass. So a lot of things they do for us.
Well, there is such a thing as an industry, a library industry.
And then I give you two articles, a serious article and a fun article. So the serious article is a white paper just talking about, from the Pew Research Center, talking about a lot of online content and how easy it is for it to disappear. And then the other article I give you was about a library that was waiving fees for books that got destroyed by their people's pets. That they would wait if the people came with a good picture and story.
Good story, huh?
The dog ate it.
I think about 20 or so years ago, I remember a patron had a dog training book that they came in with.
Oh, should I go?
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, maybe that book didn't work anyway.
Maybe they need a moral on a book.
Lake Fest, we're going to be manning a booth out on Main Street again this year. So we're gonna be concentrating on Saturday, June 22nd, so please stop by and keep us company that day if you're out and about. Hoping to do some little handouts for the kids and, last year we issued library cards, so I'm hoping to be able to do that again. Yeah. That's all I have, I think.
Any questions for Mary Jo?
Farmers market, have we done that before?
We haven't done that before, we just did it, Jennifer just did it yesterday, so I think it worked out really well, so, yeah.
She did a booth.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh-huh. You know, we always, it stokes interest because we're kind of the anchor of the farmer's market, so it's a really good, the community, well, Rosemary's front page last week of the car show.
Oh, yeah.
And all the gathering of people in downtown Belleville on a Monday evening, and there was a bunch yesterday too, so.
Was there as many this time? This
I
Monday?
don't know, I think so.
Cause it was packed that previous Monday.
It was your
It
first-
seemed like there were a lot of people yesterday.
Well, thank you, Mary Jo. So at this point, it's the time for the board to just chit chat. Share with each other and the community what's on your mind. Who would like to begin?
Oh, well.
Okay, Linda?
I'm in a book group and it's a Zoom book group. And one of the women is in her 90s in an assisted living. And this week she had trouble this past month, she had trouble getting her book because she doesn't really leave her facility. And it's in Canton, it's not in Belleville. But I was thinking, she didn't have a library card, so she used to download her books on her Nook, but she's finding that difficult now. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking maybe people in Belleville, I know we have services for older people. Canton doesn't seem to have that many services that I can see from their website. But I talked to Jennifer tonight and I told her that I'd like to be involved in maybe, I know she does outreach with the assisted living facilities and with people who are homebound. But this woman was so distraught over it, I thought, this might be a big problem that maybe I could do something about. So I'm gonna work with Jennifer and I'll report back to you and tell you
Good.
if this is something that we can, at least work
Good.
on.
Okay. Well, I know she's working on that. If you could be helpful, I'd
Yeah,
great.
because I have some time and I know she's busy, so maybe I can help her.
Good.
Well, if she's been able to download it for this long, good for her.
The woman.
Yeah, she
yeah.
just seems like,
It's-
and I'm even gonna try a play away with her and see if she can
Mhm.
do that,
It's
so.
intimidating to. do
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit beyond her now.
that. Who wants to go next? the birthday boy.
I'd like to thank Tanya for the financial report. It's amazing. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's,
Ditto.
yeah, it's amazing. Plus, Music in the Park starts in 2 days. This Thursday from 7 till 9. I believe they're having a rock group. And we have about 9 programs every Thursday night during the summer. And it should be great fun. In the event of rain, it'll be at the Methodist Church. And I would insist that everyone go to there's one Magic Bus. It's a performance. It's totally amazing. I've never seen so many people dance before. It's really fun, really fun. But thank you. It
Do you
starts,
dance? Do you dance? Did you get up and dance?
I gotta have a glass of wine first. You can't do that at the park.
One
Anyway,
is Magic Bus.
Magic Bus, yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We are, oh, go ahead. Somebody else. Who else? Now it's got to be.
So I'm just gonna thank Joy for helping us with the budget, and then Mary Jo for putting it together, so I just have to read it. But they do, Mary Jo just does all the work, so I really appreciate that.
Well, the three of you together make it make sense to all the rest of us, and we appreciate that.
Then on a personal note, I may miss the August meeting, as my daughter's gonna be going to grad school in Texas.
Oh.
Yeah, so she is an opera singer,
Oh, your
so
daughter's
she's gonna get a
opera singer.
get a master's. My son's a puppeteer, so.
And
I don't know what I did wrong.
you're a budget lady. Well, that shows creativity lives in a home of a budget lady. Thank you, Tanya. Well,
Maybe she can give a performance here.
maybe so, maybe so.
Maybe both of them.
So together. Joy or Alma, which one of you wants to go
I'm
first?
just really grateful for Michelle for organizing all of our arts. I mean, I know it's a committee's work, but I think Michelle has a awful lot to do with it. And then my husband brought the grandkids over. 2 of them didn't have library cards. The other one had walked here from Owen and I got a library card. And now every night they're listening to playaways
Okay.
and they love it. And cause dad cuts off the internet at bedtime. So this is something that they can do and, they've always said, I don't understand, Grandma, why you listen to audiobooks. And now they get it. And even the one who's doesn't like books is doing it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. That's really good.
yeah, so it's something for everyone.
Yeah, good. Good, thank you. Well, now, Alma. Okay, that's me. It's all yours.
Just wanted to thank the people that helped get the information together for the budget. And also to say, thank you to the Rotary Club for the scholarships that they provided for not all Belleville High School.
The COSAC committee, yeah.
Yeah.
COSAC,
It was-
yeah.
It was very, very nice, and the kids were very appreciative of receiving the additional finances. As a matter of fact, one guy got a large sum from some other entity, and it covered 4 years. And he said with this scholarship that he received from the COSAC, he said that puts him over the top because he has a lot of things that he needs to take care of.
Right, a lot of extras.
Yeah,
It was
the
really
COSAC committee pays $5,000 to each kid.
Right.
Impressive.
Very
So
good.
it was nice.
Very good, well, thank you. I often talk about community activities and a couple of things. Our I also really appreciate what Michelle Montour has been doing, and our art displays and activities are really part of our community presence. And her idea, or the idea that we kind of talked about openings for some of the exhibits, will be just a lovely thing, and really bringing people into our library. And the other fun thing, and I think we alluded to it a little earlier, but this is the week for Goat Day, and Goat Day comes on Thursday or Saturday? Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday, but the goats are out there. You can have,
The greatest on,
you can have.
the greatest of all times is what I was thinking of. What is greatest of all time?
Oh, goat, yeah.
This is an actual goat.
Yes, well, Belleville. Good for us, but people have, Linda already got a really cute picture.
Yes.
And I saw that the sun was shining, I started to jump out of the car and go run and take a picture of the goat as I was going by this afternoon, so.
It's very
So it is-
relaxing.
It's a
Yeah,
wonderful time of year.
Just sit there and chew. We're so happy.
Yeah, and then, they move them, the goat herders move them down little by little, week after week, and you see how
It's
they
amazing how much
move
they
along.
eat.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
it is kind of a real interesting thing. We all have to thank our Belleville's current mayor, Ken Voigt. He comes up with a lot of ideas, and that's a really good one, and people enjoy it, and T-shirts and all kinds of things. Who knows, there's no strawberries around in Belleville, so maybe we'll be known as the goat. Oh, boy. Well, anyway, yeah. That's all in the name of community spirit and community minded.
Yes.
And with that, John,
Madam Chair, I make the motion that this meeting be adjourned.
it's been moved and
We'll second that.
supported, and everybody is nodding and